Okay, guys, Junie B. first grader, Aloha-ha-ha. Remember, chapter 1 we read last time was called Flinging. And do you remember why Junie B. was so excited? She was going on a vacation with her family. So chapter 2 is called Paradise. Look how Paradise is spelled. Now this chapter I might have to make into 2 videos because it's a long chapter. We'll see how it goes. The children wrote in their journals forever, it seemed, and then finally, they started to finish. And at last, it was time for show and tell. My legs sprang up and they ran me to the front of the room. And then I flinged myself in the air again and I shouted, "Vacation, vacation, I'm going on a vacation!" Only too bad for me, because when I came down from my fling, I lost my balance and I landed on the floor again. This time, room 1 laughed their heads off. I tapped my fingers, real annoyed. Okay, I've got to really knock off the flinging, I said to myself. Mr. Scary quieted everyone down. Boys and girls, the reason Junie B is so excited today is that she didn't find out about her vacation until just last night. He winked at me. Tell everyone where you're going, Junie B. I took a big breath, and then the words came hollering out. Hawaii, people! I'm going to Hawaii, and I'm going this very exact Sunday. All the children's mouths fell open, except for not Richie Lucille's. Instead, Lucille stretched her arms way high in the air and she did a giant yawn. Oh, Hawaii. Ho-hum, been there, done that, she said real bored. And then she stood up and she twirled around and she sat back down again. My friend named Shirley stood up too. Well, I've never been there, she said. I can't believe it, Junie B. You're really going to Hawaii? Yes, Shirley, really, I said. This was the biggest surprise of my career, I tell you. On account of last night, Daddy said he's going on a job interview in Hawaii, and he surprised me and Mother with 2 extra tickets. I skipped around my teacher, real joyful. That's not even the bestest part yet, I said. Because Daddy told me that this trip is for big people only. And so my baby brother named Nolly, he's not even allowed. Room 1 looked shocked at that information. Wow, said my friend Jose. You mean you're big people, Junie B? I nodded my head real fast. Oh, yes, Jose, I am big people, all right, I said. That's how come I got to read the travel booklet with Mother last night. And the travel booklet said Hawaii is a real, actual paradise. Mr. Scary grinned. A paradise, huh? That's a great word, Junie B. Does anyone know what a paradise is? Sheldon nodded his hand. Sheldon shot his hand in the air. I do, he shouted. My grandpa Ned Potts has a pair of dice. He used to play craps at the gambling casino. But then someone squealed to Grandma, and so now he's not allowed out at night anymore. May jumped up and pointed. Sheldon said a bad word. Sheldon said a bad word, she tattled real loud. Mr. Scary stared at her. May, dear, I'm very sorry to ruin this special tattling moment for you, he said. But Sheldon did not say a bad word. Craps is a dice game that's played at gambling casinos. May stood there for a second. Well, at least I gave it a shot, she said. And then she did a shrug and sat back down. After that, Mr. Scary printed the word paradise on the board. I'm going to show you in the book the word paradise. He turned and looked at Sheldon. And Sheldon, my friend, he said, the word is paradise, not paradise. Sheldon did a shrug too. I don't think Grandma really cares how you spell it, he said. Grandpa's still not getting out at night. Mr. Scary closed his eyes a minute, and then he went to the sink and he got a drink of water. On his way back, he stopped at the world map on our bulletin board, and he showed room 1 where Hawaii is. Boys and girls, these Pacific islands are the main islands that make up the state of Hawaii, he told us. He got the world globe off the shelf, and he asked me to carry it around to show the children. I stopped at each desk. Whoa, said Roger. Hawaii looks like a bunch of little dots floating in the ocean. I nodded. I know it, Roger, I said, but my mother said the dots are bigger in person. Mr. Scary laughed. Oh, they're much bigger in person, Junie B. And they're not really floating, Roger. So don't worry, our friend Junie B won't be drifting away. May did a grunt noise. Phooey, she said. I ignored that situation. Instead, I put the globe back and I went to the front of the room again. I know other information about Hawaii, too, I said. Mother read that there are lots of flowers and birds there. Plus, also, she read that Hawaii was formed by exploding volcanoes. I thought for a second. She read a bunch of other junk, too, but I finally got bored and tuned her out. Mr. Scary did a chuckle. Well, volcanoes are pretty interesting, really. When volcanoes erupt, they spew out lava. And over millions of years, lava can form land masses, he explained. As a matter of fact, there are still 2 active volcanoes in Hawaii right now. I stood there real quiet and I let that information sink into my head. And then all of a sudden I did a little shiver. Okay, see, I wasn't actually aware of an eruption problem, I said. May jumped up again. Well, I'm sure glad that I'm not going to Hawaii, she hollered. Who wants to get erupted on by a spewy hot volcano? Getting erupted on by a spewy hot volcano would ruin your whole vacation trip. Mr. Scary sucked in his cheeks. Junie B is not going to be erupted on by a spewy hot volcano, May, he said. There are no active volcanoes on the island where Junie B is going. May thought a minute. Okay, fine, but let's just say that she did get erupted on by a spewy hot volcano. That would definitely ruin her whole vacation trip. True or false? Mr. Scary went to the sink again, and this time he splashed water on his face. After he dried off, he put May back in her chair. I waved my hand to talk some more. Only I didn't even tell everyone the most exciting part yet, because guess how I'm getting to Hawaii, people? Guess, I said. No, wait, I'll give you a hint. After that, I straightened my arms out like wings, and I zoomed all around the room. See me, people? See me? I'm flying. That's how I'm getting to Hawaii. I'm flying in a real, actual airplane. Lucille stood up and did another yawn. Oh, airplane, schmairplane, she said. Tell me something I haven't done. Mr. Scary sat her down. This is going to be an amazing adventure for you, Junie B, he told me. He grinned real big. And just to be sure that you bring back lots of wonderful pictures, I brought you a little gift for your trip. He went to the closet and he took out a shopping bag. I heard him peeked inside and wowie, wow! There was a camera in that thing. I pulled it out and I showed the class. Look, people, look! It's the kind of camera you get at the drugstore. I said, I am excellent at this equipment because I already used one on my class field trip in kindergarten. After that, Mr. Scary reached into the bag and pulled out another gift. And take a look at this, Junie B. This is called a photo journal, he said. A photo journal is similar to the first grade journals we use in class each day, except a photo journal tells a story in photographs instead of words. He opened it up for me. See inside, each page has a place for a daily picture and a caption. A caption is another name for a picture title, he explained. He showed the album to the class. Every day, Junie B will take a picture of what she did on her trip, he said. And then she will organize her photos and give them captions. And when she comes back to school, her photo journal will tell us the story of her exciting trip to paradise. He handed me my album. Doesn't that sound like a fun assignment, Junie B? He asked. I started to nod, and then suddenly I stopped because something did not sound right about that sentence. I tapped on my chin. It was the word assignment, I believe. Finally, I looked at my teacher. Okay, here's the problem, I said. Assignment means schoolwork, and Hawaii means vacation. Children do not actually like to mix those two items. Mr. Scary smiled. Oh, but this will be a fun assignment, Junie B, he said. And it's a very special assignment, too. You're going to be Room 1's first official photojournalist. My ears perked up. Official? I said. Did you just say the word official? He grinned. Yes, I did. That's exactly what I said. Official. I looked at him again. Official means important, right? Oh, yes, he said. You can't get much more important than being official. I stood up a little straighter. Official makes you automatically taller, I think. After that, Mr. Scary shook my hand and he walked me back to my seat. Oh, he said, and don't forget to take your first grade journal to Hawaii with you, okay, Junie B? It would be a terrible shame to miss a whole week of journal writing, wouldn't it? I looked at him real strange. Teachers and children do not have the same kind of brains. Finally, I did a sigh, and I took out my journal and I dropped it in the bag with my camera. My friend named Herbert turned around very excited. You're a lucky duck, Junie B. Jones, he said. I wish I was going to Hawaii next week. Me too, said Lenny. Me three, said Jose. I looked at May. She did not say me four. Instead, she just kept staring straight ahead, and she didn't talk at all. I did a shrug and went back to my own business. And then suddenly, without any warning, May shot her arms in the air, and she hollered the word, kaboom! She looked at me and smiled. That was the sound of a spewy hot volcano erupting on you, she said. I sat there a second, and then I did another shiver. May is not amusing. That's the end of chapter 2. That was a long chapter. Chapter 3 is called New Friend. I'll see you next time.